Tonight on NewsNight, coyotes of Pittsburgh find out why one local town is on alert tonight.
Plus, from the schoolhouse to the big house, see what a former substitute teacher is accused of doing.
And we'll take a look at your forecast. NewsNight begins now. Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. I'm Royce Jones alongside Allison Schubert. Tarentum residents are on alert tonight after 2 coyote sightings in 3 days. Saturday, residents reported sightings of a coyote roaming the town in broad daylight. The animal was digging through trash cans and sitting on porches. According to Dan Pahula, state wildlife officer, this is abnormal behavior for coyotes. After numerous calls to police, the coyote was killed on site and disposed of. But the sightings don't stop there. Another coyote was spotted roaming the town this past Monday. According to the Trib, Connie Payton says she had a run-in with a coyote herself. It was 5 a.m. when she heard her dog yip in the backyard. She went outside and saw a coyote holding her small dog, a chihuahua, in its mouth. Payton yelled and banged on the door, scaring away the coyote, who dropped the dog on the ground. The dog is healing from visible puncture wounds on the back of its leg and did not test positive for rabies. Police are urging residents to call 911 if they have any more sightings.
Ex-substitute teacher Nicholas Gaworski of North Fayette admitted Tuesday morning to possessing child pornography. Gaworski is already facing additional unrelated charges and is awaiting trial for those charges. Gaworski taught in the West Allegheny, South Side area of Beaver County and Carlinton school districts prior to his arrest. According to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Gaworski waived indictment by grand jury before U.S. District Judge Arthur Schwab and pled guilty to possessing the child porn that county police officers found on his cell phone in February. Gaworski gathered corruption of a minor and indecent assault charges after police discovered that Gaworski had sex with a 13-year-old after meeting her online. Upon further investigation, police found that Gaworski attempted to contact the girl again in February, and when she declined, he asked her to find other minors for him for sex. Gaworski could face up to 21 years in prison for his crimes. He is currently free on bond and works as a delivery man for a Lowe's store in Robinson, pending sentencing on February 7th.
This past weekend brought fall weather, but there is a warm-up on the way. Here with a check on the weather is Nick Kasisky.
But let's get the bad news out of the way. So lows in this week is going to be in the 60s, except for on Thursday, just barely getting into the 50s there. But that's not even that bad. And then we got a nice 83 on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, a high of 76. And then Saturday, we got that sun coming out. And then Sunday, what is up with Sunday? Like, Sunday's called Sunday, right? But there's no sun. I'm going to send Sunday an email and be like, what the heck? Because there is rain. But that's your forecast. So I hope you guys all enjoy the weather. And, when it rains, please have an umbrella and be safe.
Thanks, Nick. On the other side of the break, see what prompted the Secretary of State to withdraw diplomats.
Plus, what we've learned about this weekend's shooting in Las Vegas.
And we'll take a look at campus news. We'll be right back.
What would you do to create something that could survive 1,000 years? You'd start with a formula, head to the lab, and forge it with fire. Just imagine everything it could do. It could leak pollutants into the soil and water, or it could conserve energy, cut CO2 emissions, and reduce raw material. Recycling is more than cutting waste. Recycling is about the legacy you want to leave. Why on earth would you want to do anything else? Recycle. Don't throw away our chance at survival.
Good evening and welcome to NewsNight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak. Tonight we begin with
The mayor is continuing to deal with the challenges the city is facing.
But tomorrow we have just a little bit of cloudiness. We have
off throughout the day with some strong wind gusts. That's going to continue tomorrow. 20
Teams have already started talking to free agents. Saturday's partly cloudy, but 70 degrees? Where is the pool at? I mean, come on.
You might have already burned your bracket, ripped it up. I am Royce Jones.
And I'm Casey Julian.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight.
UView Television is live here at the Center for Media Innovation with a very exclusive interview with Point Park's Black Diamond, our school mascot. We're taking questions on our social media at UView Television.
Our first question came in from @PointParkU Black Diamond. They want to know, what is one thing you love about Point Park?
UView.
I knew it.
UView's the best.
It is. All right, Alex, you want to read our next question?
Okay, we have another question from Point Park Cab. They're asking, when is the next time you're going to make a surprise appearance at their next event?
He's being coy. Looks like we're going to have to show up.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see.
All right, that's all we have for right now, but you can submit your own questions at UView Television, and we might read one of yours after the break.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States. CBS News reports Tillerson made the move in response to Cuba's, quote, failure to take appropriate steps to protect U.S. diplomats, end quote. Tillerson ordered the Cuban government to withdraw its diplomats after unexplained attacks on 22 American government workers and family members. The Associated Press reported Monday that U.S. spies were the first and most severely affected victims. The AP says that the attacks began within days of the election of President Donald Trump. Injuries include permanent hearing loss and mild traumatic brain injury. The U.S. decided last week to cut off its own embassy staff in Cuba by a similar proportion.
Following the tragic shooting in Las Vegas this weekend, many are wondering just how gunman Stephen Paddock pulled it off. With over 50 people killed and hundreds wounded, this mass shooting was the largest in U.S. history. But how could one man have such an impact? According to the Associated Press, investigators found 2 bump stocks in the shooter's hotel room, a device that can turn a semi-automatic weapon into a fully automatic one. It can also fire 4 to 10 800 rounds per minute. The bump stocks work by replacing the gun's shoulder rest with a support step that covers the trigger opening. This basically causes a bounce-back effect, causing the gun to move back and forth, bumping the trigger. By doing so, your finger technically pulls the trigger for each individual round shot, keeping it a semi-automatic weapon and within the parameters of the restricted automatic gun laws set forth in the 30s. Officials say they are still investigating whether or not these devices were used in the shooting.
We turn from the national headlines to campus news. Here with more from our partners at the Globe is Sarah Gibson. Sarah?
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park. According to the Globe, the Fitness on Demand program has been brought back to the Student Center with even more workouts for students to choose from. The Fitness on Demand program, available on the second floor of the Student Center, is where students can work out to videos of different exercise classes like yoga, spinning, Zumba, and more. Many groups at Point Park are already looking to use the space. The rugby team has already used it for a session of Yoga with the Bros. Freshman player Caleb Gretzky said, quote, we were all sore afterwards. Jillian Michaels knows how to work us, end quote. The Honors Program is also considering planning an event with the program for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The Fitness on Demand program can be found at the Student Center on the second floor. Turning to government, Point Park's United Student Government discussed the state of the new Playhouse at a recent meeting in the Lawrence Hall Ballroom. According to the Globe, new Playhouse on Forbes Avenue will be 3 stories tall and include 3 theaters, several rehearsal rooms, dressing rooms, and lounges. It will be connected to the University Center and will be accessible through it. 3 historic buildings had to be torn down to make way for the new Playhouse. However, the facades are being preserved so they can be reinstalled on the front of the building once construction on the Playhouse is finished. The main theater is planned to seat up to 500 people and will feature asymmetrical wood balconies and an orchestra pit that can be raised. Point Park will continue to provide shuttles to Oakland for another year after the new Playhouse is built, but those shuttles will run less frequently. The USG also deliberated over its $10,000 internal budget at the meeting. Now to the Job and Internship Fair. 112 different employers attended Point Park's Job and Internship Fair on Thursday. The Job and Internship Fair is put on twice every year by the Career Development Center to give students the opportunity to network and find possible internships and job opportunities for their majors. The internship and job fairs have been helping Point Park students for 8 years, with 2 fairs every year, one in fall and one in spring. On average, 250 to 350 students attend the job fair and internship fair every time it's held. While most college students don't worry about internships until they're in their sophomore year, Angela Scaramucci, the director of the Career Development Center, encourages students of all ages to attend and to start getting involved as early as possible. Though, she says sophomore and junior year are the ideal times to start thinking about applying for an internship. And if you missed it, don't worry, it'll be back in spring. That's all I have for campus news. Let's head back over to Royce and Allison.
Thank you, Sarah. When we return, the latest from Spain.
And why a supposed game show has landed 2 women in jail.
Plus, we'll take a look at the world of sports with Sara Mackulin. We'll be right back.
I shouldn't have to pay to walk down the street. Pay with my comfort, my freedom, my peace. Always on guard, on edge, off limits. Don't follow me, don't touch me, don't treat me like I'm yours. I don't need your whistles, your comments, your eyes. I already know I'm a prize. My confidence isn't for sale. Respect me, don't inspect me.
And when people ask us who can join UView, the answer really is anybody, and we mean anybody. Any major, any experience level. Some people, have a lot of experience coming out of high school, and others don't know how to really sit on a couch properly, and that's okay. We're here just to give you the chance to learn and have fun and prepare yourself for the real world. College, after all, it's all about trying new things.
Welcome back. More than 800 people were injured in Spain this week after police violently attacked a group of peaceful protesters. The attack happened after residents of Catalonia, a part of Spain's northeastern region, took the town to cast their votes for Catalonia's separation from the country. Video evidence shows police armed with guns and other weapons storming the town, confiscating ballots and shooting rubber bullets at innocent people. Some officers dragged people from the polling stations by their hair, threw them downstairs, and beat them. Fox News reports police were responding to a judge's orders to stop the people of Catalonia from voting, as the Spanish government deemed this referendum illegal.
2 women pleaded not guilty Monday morning in a Malaysian court after being charged with the murder of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's half-brother Kim Jong-nam. Originally reported by CNN, Kim was poisoned with VX nerve agent at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport in February on his way home in the Chinese territory of Macau. The security footage from Kuala Lumpur Airport showed 2 women, 25-year-old Indonesian Siti Aizia and 29-year-old Vietnamese citizen Don Thi Wang, walked up behind Kim and rubbed their hands on his face. Siti and Don maintained their innocence, saying that they were told the act was part of a game show. However, Malaysian authorities claim the pair were trained by North Korean agents to assassinate Kim with the nerve agent. The North Korean government has repeatedly denied any involvement with the assassination of Kim. The 2 women arrived on Monday in bulletproof vests and surrounded by a heavy police presence. Both women are charged with murder under Section 302 of the Malaysian Criminal Code, which carries a mandatory death sentence.
Turning now from the headlines to the sidelines, we have Sara Mackulin with us to bring us up to speed on the latest in sport news. Sarah?
Thanks, guys.
While other sports seasons are just getting underway, the MLB season is nearing its end. Most teams wrapped up their regular season play on Sunday, while 10 teams will extend their season, securing 2017 playoff berths. The MLB playoffs kick off tonight with the American League wildcard game when the Minnesota Twins face off against the New York Yankees. Currently, the Minnesota Twins are leading 3-0. On Wednesday, division rivals the Colorado Rockies and Arizona Diamondbacks will battle it out in the National League wildcard game. The winners of both games will move on to the divisional rounds, which begin Thursday night. In other MLB news, New York Mets manager Terry Collins announced his resignation on Sunday after an 11-0 loss to the Philadelphia Phillies. Collins spent 7 years as the Mets manager and will reportedly remain with the team in a front office role, according to The Athletic's Ken Rosenthal. The Mets were not the only organization to make changes as the season came to an end. Atlanta Braves general manager Joe Coppolella was forced to resign yesterday following proof found by the MLB of international market infractions. Both teams failed to make the postseason and will now officially begin their off-season search for replacements. The Pittsburgh Pirates were one of the unfortunate teams to see their season come to an end on Sunday, as they fell short of making the playoffs for the second year in a row. However, the Pirates did manage to end their season on a high note. The Buccos won 4 of their last 6 games in the regular season, one of which included an Andrew McCutchen grand slam, the first of his 8-year MLB career. His play over the last week earned him the title of National League Player of the Week, as McCutchen hit .471 with 6 runs, 5 extra base hits, and 9 RBIs. While one team's season came to an end, another local sports team is just getting started. The Pittsburgh Penguins wrapped up preseason play on Saturday with their 7th annual free game for kids. The Pens lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets 3-0, finishing off exhibition play with a final record of 3-1. The Penguins will kick off the 2017 regular season tomorrow night at PPG Paints Arena with a puck drop at 8 o'clock. The game against the St. Louis Blues will be nationally televised and will feature the raising of the 2017 Stanley Cup banner. Speaking of investigations, the NCAA announced last week the findings from an FBI investigation into a recruiting scandal involving mass corruption, bribery, and wire fraud among several college basketball programs. As a result of the investigation, 4 assistant coaches received charges and various schools have been implicated. Those coaches are Chuck Pearson of Auburn, Tony Bland of USC, Lamont Evans of Oklahoma State, and Emmanuel Richardson of Arizona. No charges have been filed on the college programs themselves as of late. However, the most notable name to come out of this investigation was that of Louisville head coach Rick Pitino. The University of Louisville Board of Trustees called an impromptu meeting yesterday morning to discuss actions taken as a result of the FBI investigation. The meeting was called following a decision by Louisville University interim president Greg Postel to place Coach Pitino and athletic director Tom Burich, on leave. Assistant coach David Paget was named acting head coach on Friday, as the university's athletic association board announced yesterday that they would be beginning the process to terminate Pitino, according to ESPN. Pitino has spent the last 16 years as the Louisville head coach with a regular season record of .416 and .141 and a 2012-2013 national championship. That's the latest in the sports world. Let's head back over to Allison and Royce at the desk. Guys.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Royce Jones, I'm Allison Schubert. Have a great night.